During a 51B DCF investigation in Massachusetts, you always have your client speak to DCF? And the answer is no, and for good reason. There are certain circumstances where you don't have your client talk to DCF. When would that be? Simply put, recently I had a client by the name of Lily, and she was accused of physically abusing her son. There was no marks or bruises on the child. We took the child to the pediatrician. The child spoke to the pediatrician, who's a neutral third party, who's a mandated reporter, and told the pediatrician, my mother never put her hands on me, and the child had no marks or bruises. So rather than going through the dog and pony show of DCF opening up all these questions and an inquisition into Lily, we turned it on its head. I did not have her speak to DCF. There was no physical abuse, there was no marks or bruises, and the pediatrician wrote a report stating such. In the game, set, match. Everybody went home happy. You don't want DCF to open up Lily to all types of scrutiny, which was totally out of bounds and not necessary. In another case recently, I had a client and her name was Justine. And I said, Justine, don't speak to DCF. And she said, why? As you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to remain innocent. And speaking to DCF is not going to help you in this case. So what we did was we took the child to a therapist. And the child explained to the therapist, what had happened. And it was alleged that Justine's partner had sexually inappropriately touched the child. What really happened was they were having a pillow fight. And the boyfriend was playing pillow fight with the young daughter, who was 6 years old, and she would jump on him all the time. Come on, let's do a pillow fight, let's have fun. So he would engage with her. And she didn't know her body parts and said he touched her somewhere, which was not a body part that would be sexual in nature. It wasn't her breast nor her vaginal area. Furthermore, the child had clothes on the whole time. Third of all, the mother was in the room, part of the pillow fight. So statements were taken from the child in the first grade out of context. Now there's a big surprise, right? And a mountain was made from a molehill. It just was ridiculous. But however, DCF gets these reports from a mandated reporter, which is the school. They have to corroborate to disprove them. I get that. I don't blame DCF. But you don't let your client speak to DCF when it's not necessary. And this was totally out of line and out of bounds. The therapist said there's no sexual abuse here. The client and the child didn't understand the whole context. And whoever spoke to the child at school took it completely out of line. And that happens sometimes. People are well-intentioned, well-meaning, and they want to make an error on the side of caution, especially when it comes to sexual abuse. Everybody loses their balance, their perception, their rationality and reasonableness. And I believe the school went out of bounds. But they thought they did the right thing, so that's okay. The real important thing is that the client became a Seaver success story and everybody went home happy.